for almost an hour. This is what we do on a daily basis. We do this every day with us. See, the audience is getting the opportunity to see us recording doing it live on you know what I'm saying, on the podcast. But this is what we do daily. I'm talking, we talk to each other
on the wake
every
up.
day. On the wake up, we start talking, we start building to get our day going. We all head out to cultivate the fields in order to bring home the fruits for our label. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, we cultivating the field to bring home fruits of our label to pay our bills and put food on the table. We also cultivating the field, our mind, our garden.
Facts.
You know, just the same way as iron sharpens iron, man sharpens man. And that's what we do. So we hope that you enjoy this podcast that we did.
Yeah, because honestly, we ain't playing no books, no literature, no blueprint. As rappers say, this all freestyle.
We was in the cipher.
Off the top. We was in the cipher.
Yep.
When it's on you to show and prove, it got to be in you to show and prove.
Show and prove at any given time. And this is the truth, man, because, and this is taking us back. The originals used to pull up on us at any given time, man, and asked us to recite something or to break down something or to explain something. What was our understanding about something? And that's what we had
for the teachings now than they were 2 years ago.
Yes. Like, why?
This is what I would say on why. They're more open to receive the teachings now, not because they realize they've been mistaught or misguided, because that's not the issue. It's starting to make more sense now. They're able to connect what they already knew to a solid foundation.
So you had to do what, though, to get them to the solid foundation? What had to be done? You had to till the field, right?
Yeah, I was about to. I'm finna complicate my answer, but yes.
You had to
I had to lay the groundwork.
Yes, you had to pull all the weeds and stuff out, right? You had to fertilize, you had to get everything in order, right?
Yep.
But that took time. It took time. So they are more susceptible today to start receiving information because they were seeking then. You know they were seeking, and you know that they was willing to accept because of all the bad information that they were receiving from those that was giving them bad information. You heard what CeeLo Green said in their song, "You don't want to hear the truth, so I'm gonna lie to you, make it sound fly to you."
Facts.
That's what people were doing. They was lying to the masses. And Mao said it himself. Mao Zedong said it himself. We are servants of the people. It's our job to serve the people. Because without the people, there would be no us.
That's facts. And considering what we're dealing with now in this bill, right? And I'm gonna say it the best way I know how, because everything I do is on Facebook. Like when I learn something, I put it on Facebook. When I read something and I realize something, I put it on Facebook. And I do that for the majority of the family to be able to see the process, the learning. So in essence, they watch me grow and develop. And they saw the results of my studies, my application, and my observation with these teachings. And by them seeing that, on a public platform, it made them more open to receive the information that had to come from it, because they realized, like, okay, it's more than what I've heard. It's more than what I think. And I have somebody I can look at that's gone through the process to see exactly what it is. And that's cool. I don't mind that. I can accept being the one that's out there on the front line to help everybody else move along. Because for me, speaking personally, as a leader, not of an organization or a group of people, just as a leader, period, my belief is a leader should be able to lead from the front and the rear. I'm going to go ahead of you to make the path easier for you. Then I'm going to get behind you and motivate you, inspire you, and push you to go forward. Because I know what lies ahead, because I've already gone through it. That's my personal stance.
Right. See, and one thing for sure, and we always discuss this here, when truth is on the scene, falsehood gonna flee, right?
Yep, it's gonna fight, but it's gonna flee.
It's gonna fight, but it's gonna flee. And what they seeing now, the truth is on the scene. Because when you giving them the truth, you backing the truth up with the facts and the evidence. Remember this here.
Talk to me.
If a wise man is arguing with a fool and somebody walks up, how can they tell the difference between the wise man and the fool?
They can't. It's impossible.
And I'm saying that because of this here. We can share all the information, all the truth there is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the midst, there are still going to be manipulators, deceivers, and old fools. Old fools, man. Within our ranks and files. So we have to pay attention to the youth, the fertile minds, and not try to change the manipulators, the infiltrators, the perpetrators, and the old fools. That's that generation that we said that has to die off, man. That's
Right.
that mindset that has to die off. So we can't give it too much credence. We can't waste too much time with it. Because if we constantly wasting time with it, then we are forgetting about the ones that really need the truth. Our job is to expose them, pull the covers off on, and keep it moving. Because once the covers has been pulled off of them, then the world can see them and keep it moving.
Okay.
Don't spend too much time on it.
I get it, and I get it because of the 85 to 10 and the 5%, right? The 5% don't spend their time trying to teach the 10% how to be righteous.
Exactly.
The 5% spend their time teaching the 85 how to become the 5.
How to
and 10 do what the 10 do. So if I was to put that in terms of our family ideology and concept, I would say those of us who are educators don't spend our time trying to prove and show who's miseducated. We spend our time teaching those who really want to learn. And once we teach those who really want to learn, they will see who the manipulator and liar is for themselves.
Yes, they will.
Okay.
Yes, they will.
I can respect that. Because I ain't
That's
gonna lie. I'm gonna be truthful with you, right? And I'm gonna bring up my past. At one point in time, I was under the impression or the idea that there was a thing called 720 teachings or 720 concept. I now know that there is no such thing. And I found myself, after learning that, attacking those who taught that 720 concept, 720 teaching terminology. And by doing that, I really made myself an enemy to those who want the truth because they didn't understand why I was attacking.
so you should
So
have taught. So you should
I
have
should have
taught
taught.
first.
Yes, that's my whole point. I should have been teaching instead of attacking.
But isn't
I
that
had to
part of your
grow into
growth
that.
and development? Isn't that part of your growth and development maturation?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you are uh, all things comes along in due time. Now it's
Yep.
that time. There are no. I don't believe in happenstances and coincidence and all that. I don't believe in none of that. I believe that everything has its time.
Facts.
Then that isn't
Facts.
that in the book of Ecclesiastics?
It is. To all
Yeah.
things are a season.
Yes. So right now it's that season. You are right on time. For those who need it to get it, or those who are seeking it to get it, you are on time. So
Mm-hmm.
continue doing the work. Just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We always say Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Father Allah, Elijah Muhammad, Paul Robeson, Nat Turner, all these peoples were
Mr.
before their
Farrakhan.
Minister Farrakhan, that they were before their time. No,
Mm-hmm.
man, they at the right time. They are in the right time. They're in the right moment. That's why they here. That's why
Fact.
we here right now. We are here right now for that particular reason. We're not ahead of our time. Hell, truth be told, man, we might be behind our time. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
Yeah.
behind. But what I have observed from society is that a majority of the people in society are behind time and they're scared to step up into the right time because they feel they're not going to be accepted.
Yep.
That's our social calamity right now.
So therefore, we are in groupthink
Yes,
because we're trying to be socially accepted, and what one person think, we all start thinking the same thing without using our own minds.
yep.
Hmm.
And you brought up a very key factor, right? And I want to use this as an example. You brought up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was teaching in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And he taught for his era and time.
Yes.
Once his era and time was up, there had to be another teacher to carry the same teachings to the next stage, to the next degree, to the next level of understanding.
But speaking the language of his era and time.
Exactly. This is where we as a people, this is where we as a special group get caught up in the social norms. We often think that success is based on things remaining the way they were when it first started, because that's what it's meant to be. And the reality is, how it first starts is not how it's meant to be. That's how it's meant to start. How it's meant to be can only be discovered as time goes on.
Let me
Because you
ask
can
you
have
this
an
here.
idea for, go ahead.
You can have an idea on how things supposed to be, right?
Right?
So do you think that people's understand the true essence of what growth and development is? Because if they trying to stay the same, if they trying to stay in 1981, do they
Mhm.
truly understand what growth and development is?
No, they don't. They can't.
If they are constantly talking about the 80s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, could they even understand what's going on in 2023? Are they in touch?
No, no.
So if you are doing things that was effective in the 80s and you are still doing those same things in 2023,
Hmm.
that means you had a touch.
Yeah, I can give you a good example of that, right? We have a thing now, right, called an iPhone or a smartphone. One and the same, they're interchangeable. If you were to use a smartphone the same way you used a flip phone, your smartphone would be ineffective. It would serve no purpose whatsoever. Because you cannot operate a smartphone the same way you operated a flip phone.
So you can't operate a flip phone the same way you operate a smartphone. So
Exactly.
if you got a phone that was from 2003 and 20 years later you trying to operate a iPhone or a smartphone like that, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, definitely.
See, all right, let's take this here. I got the
Go
little
for
red
it.
book. I got the little red book in my hand right now, right?
Cheat sheet, go ahead.
Okay. That's called expanding your knowledge, brother.
Definitely that.
It says
Just know I'm ordering that book, though. Just know that.
it's a great book to have. Just say it says, I'm on page 73, and it's talking about the education and the training of troops. It say our educational policies must enable everyone who receives an education to develop morally, intellectually, physically, and become a worker of both socialist consciousness and culture. This was written in February to 27, 1959. Do that still apply today? Do
Yeah, that book was ahead of its time.
the concept still apply today? But can you operate it
In the same manner you would back
in
then, no, you can't.
1959? There you go.
No.
So now watch this
The
here.
1959 application of those words cannot apply in 2023.
But the concept stays the same. The
The
idea stays the
concept,
same.
the ideology of it, yes, it's the same.
It stays,
Even the vision of it remains the same.
yes. It's just the way that you go about elevating on the vision, elevating on the concept, elevating on the ideas and the more the ideology of it, right?
Yep,
Doesn't that apply to the new concept?
definitely.
So if something was written in 1981, that don't necessarily mean that we have to do the same thing that applied in 1981, because in 1981, were they considering 2023?